Hey everybody, Easy Mode here, and I'm coming at you with another build that I'm playing in Path of Exile 2 Early Access, and that is a Frenzy Charge stacking Deadeye, utilizing Spiral Volley as well as Snipe. Frenzy Charge stacking is really fun with these two abilities because the Spiral Volley utilizes Frenzy Charges to make it stronger, and Snipe can utilize Frenzy Charges with Barrage to be able to shoot like up to like 16 shots at one time utilizing the Snipe. It's super fun, and I've been enjoying mapping with this character a lot, and it's been really enjoyable to just blast through maps with a really fast character because it's a ranger with evasion, so on and so forth. It can clear breaches like it's no tomorrow, etc, etc. Just to kind of go over my character sheet here, I'm level 93. Here are my stats that I currently have. If I actually shoot to get my tailwind up, this is my current evasion that you see here with the acrobatics. And you'll notice something funny with my name. My name is Easy Bleed Bow. I really wanted to make this particular build work with bleed, but apparently you need to make bleed have a very fat like hit, not crit hit. Kind of like other ailments can do crit hits, but bleed can't do crit hit. I don't know. I was trying to make it work with Snipe. It wasn't really making a fat bleed. It was just Snipe doing a lot of damage, and then there was a little bleed behind it. So instead, I kind of fully transitioned to a full Fizzbow build with Spiral Volley and Snipe, and this has been working well for me, extremely well for me actually. So let's just get right into it with the gems here really quick before I talk about other portions of the build, because it does get a little bit complicated when you are trying to do map bosses between mapping. So don't look at these gems in the bow shot here. It's just like random gems I put up here when I'm testing things out. Spiral Volley allows you to consume a Frenzy Charge, and the more Frenzy Charges you consume, the more damage it does, and it also chains off the enemy, which is the reason why this is such a great clearer in maps. You also get an additional 100 damage if the Frenzy Charge was consumed. So you're looking at about 140% more damage, plus on top of 100 damage, 240% more damage from this particular skill. And I currently have it 6 linked with Lockdown, Perpetual Charges, Martial Tempo, Soul Thief, and Heft. I probably would change Heft for Martial Tempo in the organization of priority here. Definitely would get Lockdown because you want to be able to do more pin buildup with it. You want to be able to have chances to not remove Frenzy Charges when you use this move. And then you also want some fat damage from it so you can actually do a hard hit to pin automatically. Soul Thief here is sort of to control my mana problems. The +3 projectile necklace that I have introduced this to be like 200 something plus mana, and I don't have that much mana on my ranger right now. So to kind of combat that, I put Soul Thief in here as well as Path to Mental Toughness to at least be able to utilize the skill while I'm mapping and not feel and constantly pressing my mana pot. So it feels great that way. You don't really need Soul Thief. You can put something else here. You can put like Splinter to break armor when you're mapping if you feel like you want to use your mana pot and you feel like your mana's fine, so on and so forth. But you also want to put Martial Temper here as a priority if you don't think Soul Thief is, but I think Soul Thief is a priority. Your standard Wind Dancer here, nothing really crazy about it. I have Blind, Precision, and Wind Wave into it. Snipe is the big one-shot, one-hitter single target damage. Now, Snipe allows you to shoot in a current window of opportunity. That's when the crit hit happens. So you'll notice the window of opportunity, your hands glow, and if you do it correctly, rocks break around you, and that kind of shows you that you did it correctly when it came to the opportunity of window. I got this helmet here, the Asylum closed helmet, because I kind of suck at Snipe. And I really want to use the window of opportunity gem here to be able to do more damage. I had Heft in my Snipe here from my Spiral Volley, but I really feel like this allowed me to do more crit damage. And this helmet just helps me get there. And I really wasn't doing anything with my helmet slot. I had a rare there at the moment. And I had a Verthlash's Coil instead of a belt here just to increase my flat fizz damage to be higher. But instead I went the route of being able to just focus on crit damage on the Snipe. So I got Windows of Opportunity, Close Brutality, Consecrated Effect, Close Combat, and Super Critical. Honestly, this should be the order that I would prioritize this because Close Combat's kind of like an okay thing to get you more damage because you're going to be getting up close to the bot and personal to the bosses anyways because you want to kind of shock them with all your arrows. Tornado Shot is a way for me to shotgun on bigger bosses. Now, typically on like a big boss, when you do a snipe here and you shoot it with barrage, you'll shoot your multiple projectiles, however many frenzy charges you have, and you'll be able to hit the boss. But if you put a tornado behind the boss and then you shoot your snipe, you'll notice that the snipe hit and shot in different directions. Well, if you utilize this while you have barrage, that means that there will be multiple snipes coming back from that tornado back into the boss to kind of hit it again. And that allows us kind of shotgun, which is really helpful for pinnacle bosses because of the fact that we can put it behind the pinnacle boss, we can charge up our snipe, and then we can shoot it, and it'll do the sort of like a pseudo shotgun, which is really nice to have. In this one, I have overabundance, so I can have another pretty much tornado down if I wanted to, 2 tornadoes. And you'll notice here, I can just do this, and I'll shoot towards it. And then I have mobility so I don't get slowed down for it. Honestly, you can just have no sockets here and it'll be fine. Combat Frenzy is how I generate my frenzy charges for pinning. Pinning is my main focus of the build here, and I'll go more over it when I go over my items here. But I have Proficient, Cannibalism, and Clarity here. Cannibalism is just kind of keep me up when I'm mapping. Barrage, again, is the way you're able to consume frenzy charges for snipe and allows you to shoot an additional bow attack twice every time you consume a charge. So you're looking at 9 times here when it comes to a frenzy charge to shoot at a enemy. And if you mix it with the Deathharp dual string bow here, which I'll get into a minute regarding pinnacle bosses, you're actually looking at shooting at about 9 plus 4, 13 shots when it comes to barrage here, probably even more than that. It's kind of really fun to do. Next up is going to be Sniper's Mark. Sniper's Mark allows me to generate frenzy charges on bosses when I don't have a way to pin. This gives me Arcane Tempo, Persistent, and I kind of swap Proficient to Sniper Mark when I'm having trouble generate frenzy charges on bosses, specific bosses. So there's that. To go over my items here, because I am focusing on pinning, I'm utilizing the Bushwhack Laser Scale boots. All my fizz damage is able to pin. The rest of my gear isn't that interesting, as I already ran over the helmet for the longer perfect time window. It's just pretty much rares with decent stats on them. I did get a +3 all projectile skills necklace. That's probably the second most important item in the build, behind the boots and of course your bow. This is what you really need to be able to scale your snipe and all your other moves to do a lot more damage. The rings have flat damage on them. Your resistance is life. As much evasion on your chest piece as possible. I was using a Rathatha coil here, but I'm using a rare belt now because I switched to this helmet. You can do either or, and I just have these pair of gloves I stole off of one of my characters. The real big tech here for this particular build, though, when it comes to bossing and actually one-shotting them, is utilizing BoneStorm. Now, BoneStorm is a skill that allows you to apply a debuff of additional physical damage onto it for every projectile that has been placed on the monster. So you can get up to like 30, 35 debuffs on that character before it starts falling off if you're quick enough with your casting. So it's pretty crazy that you can kind of start this up like once or twice, shoot at the boss like this, you get like 20 to 30 stacks maybe, and then you pop your barrage, you sit down with your snipe, and now you're going to be doing, what is this, like 30,000 extra fizz damage or something like that, and then you crit off of that. That's kind of how you're supposed to one-shot pinnacle bosses. So you'll notice here in this clip here that I have showing on a recording, my attempt of an Esh. The way that I'm scaling this particular Bone Spear or BoneStorm is utilizing a Widow Hail with a +2 projectile quiver. My Widow Hail is kind of garbage. It's only 241, and you probably can get a better Widow Hail, like 286, 279, whatever those percentages are, to be able to get a higher BoneStorm. And the higher the BoneStorm, the more physical damage they take, and the easier it is for you to probably apply those particular stacks. But that's how I'm adding on to the kill here. And you'll notice that what I do on these bosses is I try to BoneStorm as much as possible. I then pop my barrage, and then I pop my snipe. Now you'll also notice in that clip with the Ash that I had a Deathharp's dual string bow instead of my normal bow. And that's another tech that kind of came up by the community for those who are playing this specific physical damage spiral volley build is they omit having their nice little bow that we have for mapping, and instead just go for as much of a crit hit as possible when it comes to snipe. So kind of the combo is that you go into a pinnacle boss, you throw a bunch of bone spears at them, you throw a tornado behind them so you can shotgun them, you pop barrage so you can consume all your frenzy charges, and then you hit the perfect snipe window, and then you're supposed to one-shot the boss. I wasn't able to one-shot the boss because I probably need to get a little bit better Widow Hail. I probably need to get a little bit better jewels to get more crit damage or to increase my quiver to do more damage. And I probably need to do just a tad bit more to this character to be able to conduct that one shot. But you know, the potential is there, and I see a lot of clips online of folks are actually able to do the one shot with this build. So I'm pretty sure that if I spent a little bit more investment and time into this build, I would be able to do those kind of one shots. But I'm putting all my money into my strength stacker, so I don't know if I'm going to put any more money or time into this particular build to make it better at pinnacles, because I already have a pinnacle killer through my strength stacker. But ironically, this build doesn't cost a lot. Like, a lot of this gear costs less than a divine at most. I spent 2 divines on my bow. The guy could have probably sold it for 4, but he was nice enough to give it to me for 2. I spent like a divine on my necklace. Everything else I didn't really spend a divine on. It was like a couple exalts here and there, 30 exalts, 40 exalts, 50 exalts. But this is a relatively cheap build for the power that it can give you. Just going over my tree really quickly, and you'll see with the weapon swap, I have to get a lot of int to be able to cast my level 31 BoneStorm. I should honestly try to get it to 34 so I can apply more debuffs, but that's just going to come with the better Widow Hail, and essentially would just come with a better Widow Hail. But you'll notice I am stacking crit damage as much as possible across the tree, and I'm grabbing all the frenzy nodes here, as well as accuracy to increase my speed, and as well as increasing my speed with dex. Everything else though is kind of standard across all bow characters. Like you get your projectile nodes here, you get your evasion nodes here. Everyone gets Master Fletcher because it makes your quiver super strong. Everyone makes sure that you get Feathered Felchineer because you get your projectile speed, and also everyone gets acceleration because it gives you skill speed movement. So all this is kind of standard ranger stuff. The only kind of outside thing that you may not see with typical rangers is I go for some fizz damage here, as well as a projectile damage, because I'm pathing up this way anyways to try to get this crit node. And I did get this mental toughness here to help me with mana. But this is sort of a very standard ranger build. You'll notice in the tree itself, I also got all the pinning stuff, just so I can pin. The minute I hit you with fizz damage, which is the reason why my spiral volley has heft, and it does a very hefty damage, it automatically pins you. That's how I'm generating my frenzy charges. Like I said, I could probably get better jewels to be able to get closer to one-shotting a boss, but we'll see. I don't mind attempting to make this character a little bit better, but the character is super fun to play, and honestly, I'm probably not doing pinnacles on this character. I'm going to be using my stacker to do that. So it's really fun to play in maps, and I'm really enjoying it. So if you do like the video, you can always like, comment, subscribe to it. I'm going to be trying to make more PoE 2 videos because I'm having way too much fun playing this game, making different builds. And honestly, it's been a blast trying to figure this guy out, and I'm going to move on to the next one. All right, catch you guys later. Bye.